So a new deal has been reached between AMC Theaters and Universal Pictures. What does this entail? Let's talk about it. Hi everyone, Blood Moon Bobby here. So I know I've been doing all kinds of different camera setups in my videos lately. This time I'm actually plugging my microphone straight into this preamp that I bought a while ago. Finally figured out how to get it working with my camera properly. So let me know what you think of the audio quality of this video. But anyway, let's talk about this new deal between AMC and Universal. You know how a while ago I talked about a news story where Universal was happy with the results of Trolls World Tour, where instead of going to theaters it went to premium video on demand rentals, and then AMC banned Universal movies from the theaters? Well, now a new deal has been reached between them that shortens the theatrical release window for Universal movies. So under the new deal, the release window for Universal movies playing at AMC Theaters has shrunk from 75 days to 17 days. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll be able to buy them right away or rent them for like a couple dollars. Universal said that movies released early in this way will be available as premium price rentals. So I think it's going to be kind of like what they did with Trolls World Tour, where when it first became a rental, it costed around $20-ish, so somewhere in that range. And they also said that they're not going to change the amount of time it takes between when a movie is a premium rental to when it becomes a more standard rental price. The Wall Street Journal also said a source said the AMC was able to negotiate a share of the revenue new Universal movies will earn from digital rentals purchased on video-on-demand platforms. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the cherry on top that got AMC to accept this deal. Now, the response to this deal from the rest of the industry, like other movie studios and theaters, has gone from, I would say, mixed to pretty negative. I know that Cineworld, the company that owns the Regal movie theaters, said they're not planning to change their policy, and they said that they're only going to show movies that respect a more traditional release window. And Variety has said that Disney is skeptical of the deal because they want families to go out and see their movies. Now, what do I personally think of this deal reached between AMC and Universal? I think I would consider myself more optimistic in the sense that this does mean that AMC is no longer going to ban Universal movies so long as they follow this deal, because I thought that the ban was really kind of totalitarian, and I also thought it would just shoot AMC in the foot, especially since Universal has franchises that tend to do really well at the box office. I can think of like the Jurassic World movies, the Fast and Furious movies, and even some of Illumination's movies, like the Minions, for example. So in the sense that it would end the Universal movie ban at AMC, I'm glad to hear that. And I think one of the big concerns about this deal is that it could potentially scare away audiences from going to theaters, because it'll be like, oh, I just have to wait for a few weeks. As for me, it's not going to stop me from going to theaters and watching Universal movies. From my perspective, so long as movie theaters still continue to show great movies that can be seen on the big screen, I'll still go see them. I still really enjoy going to see movies with friends, especially if it's either a movie that I think is going to be good, or if it at least pertains to some of my interests, like if it has to do with following the animation industry. But realistically, I think that because of a lot of the skepticism that we're seeing from the broader industry, I think the way that this deal is going to work is what CNBC and Variety suggested, where we may see a thing where if a Universal movie does well at the AMC box office, then it'll just stay in theaters, and maybe the movies will just stick to a more traditional release window where it'll take some time before it comes to home video. And if it doesn't do, and if there's a movie that doesn't do nearly as well at the box office, then Universal could theoretically put that on rental early, so that audiences that weren't going to the theaters could experience the movie, and Universal could at least expect to see some kind of returns. What I'm thinking is maybe it'll be a kind of thing where if Universal releases a movie that's a success, like something like a Jurassic World or a Minions, then they'll probably just keep it in theaters, and audiences will have to wait for like 75 days for the movie to come to home video. But if the movie is not a success, like if it's like Gem and the Holograms or Aaron Sorkin's Steve Jobs movie territory, then it'll probably come to premium video on demand services earlier than expected. I think that's what's going to happen. And if CNBC and Variety are correct and this is how it's going to go, then I think audiences may even have that expectation where if they see a new Jurassic World or a new Illumination movie comes out, they might even have that expectation of, oh, well, these movies tend to do really well for Universal at the box office, so there's a good chance that I won't get to see this movie on home video for the next few months. I think most realistically, we could expect to see Universal go the route of, if the movie does really well for them, it'll stay in theaters for a longer time, but if it doesn't do nearly as well, then they could pull it out of AMC Theaters and released on home video this way. I think for me, where this deal raises some question marks for me, though, is more so, how is this going to do well in practice? Like, because much of the broader movie industry is really skeptical of this deal, what's going to happen if there's a scenario where a movie doesn't do well for Universal and they're thinking of pulling it out and just putting it on premium video on demand? They could technically do it with AMC Theaters, but what about the rest of the industry? We know that Cineworld is not going to be happy, and they said they're only going to show movies that respect more traditional release windows. But I'm curious to see how well this will go in practice. I know that with Christopher Nolan's Tenet and Disney's Mulan remake, I'll have a Deadline article linked down below in the description that says that for Tenet, they're expecting that movie to have a release where instead of having a more usual wide release, it'll just be released in cities that are relatively safe from the coronavirus first. And the article says that people who follow the movie industry are expecting the Mulan remake to do these same things. So will Universal movies start off by releasing in this way, where they'll be releasing in safer cities first? Or will a situation happen where Universal's movies would have to be delayed, or will they still release, but if, let's say, a situation happens where coronavirus cases start to spike up again, what are they going to do? Are they going to pull the movie out of theaters even before those 3 weeks are up, or are there going to be AMC Theaters open by the time movies like Focus Features, which is owned by Universal, their next movie is Kajillionaire, and it comes out this September. So when Kajillionaire comes out, will it be a lot safer? Will they be able to release it for at least 3 weeks, or are they going to have to pull out sooner? And I think those are the kind of questions where we won't really have any clear-cut answers because of how unpredictable this pandemic is, so we won't really know until we reach the release date for that movie. So when that day comes, we'll see. What I'm most curious to see is what if the theaters decide not to reopen, or they have to close even sooner. Like AMC said that they're planning to reopen theaters in mid-August. So what happens if there's a situation where Universal either needs to pull out sooner, or they can't release the movie in September? Are they going to have to come up with another deal with AMC to get movies out sooner? Which I'm kind of having a hard time imagining a deal to release the movies on premium video on demand a lot sooner would happen really easily. So, but I think for those kind of things, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you personally think of this new deal between AMC and Universal? Are you positive about it? Or do you think that this is a really bad idea? Leave all those thoughts down below. And until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.